And welcome to the podcast, guys, with Rob and Nando. Tonight, we have a lovely lady returning back on the show. It's 2026, guys, so Happy New Year. If it's the first time you're watching us, we've done a few lives already, so check those out. But 2026, we are here. The podcast guys are here, and we are ready to go. Make sure you subscribe to the channel on YouTube, like the video, hit that notification button, follow our other platforms as well. We're on Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, Facebook, Spotify, Threads, and X. The Podcast Guys, the Podcast Guys _, and on X, the Podcast Guys 5. So without further ado, welcome back, Sasha Prendes, to the show.
Thank you. Happy New Year, you guys.
Happy New Year.
New Year. Welcome.
It's been 1 year since we had our first episode together.
Time flies.
Crazy how time flies. It's insane, right?
I feel like we all just look so much better than we did last year.
Yeah.
We're all crushing
A lot
it.
of working out.
We're hitting the
Dieting.
gym. The ladies, you're hitting the gym. It's amazing. So, keep it up.
Happier, healthier, fitter. We're on the glow up. This is our year.
Hell
I can
yeah.
feel it. I
Damn
can
right.
feel it.
It's only getting better. And why don't you go ahead? Obviously, we know you. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to those who are seeing you on the show for the first time?
Hola, mis amores. My name is Sasha Prendes. I am a Cuban-American singer-songwriter, and I'm also a TikTok shop live streamer. So you guys can catch me on every single platform. My music lives everywhere music lives. And yeah, this has been an incredible year. I'm excited to talk about just how much has changed in my life since I saw you guys last.
Yeah, heck yeah. And why don't we add on a couple more things? I know
Yeah,
your
tell me.
occupation, what you're doing, and your age and relationship status.
I'm 33 and I'm single. I live in New Jersey, and I am loving the single life. Not gonna lie, I've been single now for a few years, and I just feel like sometimes you have to be single for a little while to really get to know yourself and to figure out what it is that you want.
Yeah, exactly. You want to know what path you're going to go in, and taking time for yourself is going to help you find that path in that direction. So that's wonderful. We're happy for you. We're happy to have you back. I think this is probably the 5th or 6th time back on the show, and we're pumped.
Yeah, thank you guys for having me back. Really, it's
100%.
been
yeah.
Glad to
great.
have you.
Hell yeah. And since then, I know you've started working on your TikTok shop. Do you want to tell people a little bit about that and drop, a little business to them?
You guys, well, first of all, stream my music on every platform. Follow me on TikTok, Instagram. Everything is under Sasha Prendes, my name, which I know you guys are so cool. You'll put it on the screen here for everyone to see.
Oh, yeah.
You guys are more than welcome to come follow me. I am a health and wellness beauty queen. You guys, I have so many incredible products for men and women on my TikTok shop, from great products like magnesium and zinc with brands like Solaray and Zao. I also have a lot of fragrances for men and women. I did bring a couple treats for you guys today.
Nice.
To smell some sexy men's fragrance.
Looking forward to it. Nice.
Your whole MO here is to help bridge the gap between men and women. And I was like, well, let me put you guys on to some incredible scents for guys. And you guys can actually see them all, and we'll link them in the video too. So you guys will have access to all of these incredible fragrances.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I mean, from music and then rebuilding a personal brand. That was my focus for last year. So now I literally have both. I'm working on a new album, and I have my TikTok shop live streaming business. And you guys got to check out both, because it's just really fun in the world of Sasha Prendes. It's just a fun place to be.
That's awesome that you're building your businesses up. They're both going in, to the top, skyrocketing. And are you intertwining them as well, the singing and the TikTok shop a little bit? Or
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, I think with the TikTok shop, it's about lifestyle. And my goal for last year was like build a new lifestyle. So it's like a vitamin routine, a fitness routine. How do I take care of my hair? How do I take care of my skin? What are the newest and latest and greatest products on the market right now that I can use, that I can find? I'm always searching for new brands. I mean, there's just so much innovation happening in beauty and wellness, and there is no excuse anymore. There's no excuse to be fat or to be ugly or to be unhappy. There's just so many things out there that you can do to create your own life. And I am a walking testament of that. Having been depressed and then coming out of that and really, really finding myself and shining, I want to bring that to everybody else too.
Amazing,
100%.
amazing. You built yourself up to where you are now. We couldn't be happier for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So why don't we go ahead and kick it off with the first topic and the first question.
Yeah, so this is officially our first episode of 2026. So we're glad to film it with you, Sasha. Welcome back. This is awesome.
So awesome. Thank
So
you guys.
my first question is going to be, going into this year, how do you think dating is going to change? Are we seeing new trends? Are people starting to kind of shy away from monogamy, a traditional relationship? And are we leaning more towards open relationships, a new side of dating?
I think the trend for 2026 is monogamish.
All right.
and open relationships.
Tell us more.
Monogamish. Okay. Interesting. Go.
Yeah, monogamish is this new term I learned. I have a dear friend. She's the co-founder of this app called Beyond, and they have this option to select called monogamish. And I was like, monogamish? What the hell does that mean? And I think it really is whatever you want it to mean. People are like a la carte crafting their relationships based off what works for them. And I think the concept of being open is quite cool because I feel like you can have your cake and eat it too. And that was something that I've been introduced to in this last year. And I've met a lot of people kind of in this lifestyle, in the scene. And everyone just seems a lot happier, a lot more honest, a lot more open. There's less constraints. Obviously, there's still boundaries, right? Because without boundaries, you don't have a relationship. You might as well just be single. Mm-hmm. Right. But the fact that people are crafting their own relationships and it's making them happier, I think is a really beautiful thing. And so I think that's going to be the trend for 2026.
So in other words, it's two people having a traditional relationship, but they are both open to seeing other people. You're not hiding it. You're not cheating on the side. It's both people mutually agreeing to see other people.
It's like ethically non-monogamous.
Right.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
and I think that's kind of a beautiful thing because I have struggled with monogamy throughout most of my life. And I think just being young, right? You have so many options and you're like, oh my God, how am I just going to pick one person? Or you're in a relationship and you're like, I can't even look at another man, or like, I can't answer these DMs, or I have to block everybody. And that's kind of a difficult thing to do when you're in my line of work and you're in, you know, the music industry and you're on TikTok. I mean, everybody is a customer. Everybody can be a fan or a friend. I have new thoughts on jealousy. I mean, there's just so much emotional maturity and growth you have to have in order to be in an open relationship. I think just to be in a relationship in general. And I'm kind of loving that we're restructuring it based off what works for you. It may not work for everybody, but that's okay. We're having like new norms for people who feel like they just don't fit into traditional monogamy type of relationships. Does that kind of make sense?
Yeah, that was going to be my next question is why do you think people are going that direction? Is it because they're unhappy in traditional relationships? But I think what you just said there makes sense. Like maybe traditional relationships aren't for everyone. People just want to explore and experience new things.
I think so much of it too is like, I think it makes it a little bit more fun. Like everyone talks about like spicing things up in the bedroom. And I'm like, well, if you're monogamish, you can do that. I feel like, I don't know. It's kind of, I think it's still a little bit taboo to talk about, but I have seen people do this and they have a lot of fun. I think the biggest thing for men is variety, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for men, to settle with one woman and just to have that as the person that you can enjoy the romantic time with, it seems like it's not enough for men and they need variety. They need more options. And there's women out there that'll kind of balk at that and be like, that's not something that I want to entertain, but it's what men want. And it's hard. It's a harsh reality, but you know, if you're able to be open-minded to that as a woman, then you may be able to have a more healthy and fruitful relationship with that guy.
Yeah. What do you think?
Yeah, honestly, we were having a conversation about this before we started filming. The more I think about it, I think more people would be into it than they would like to admit. I think people like to kind of hide and pretend like, no, I would never do that. And then they try and they're like, oh, this is better. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because how many situations you see where people are married for 10 years and like the sex isn't there, the magic is gone, they no longer are attracted to each other like that. And that could happen in a relationship too, right? It becomes boring, mundane, repetitive. and the relationship falls apart. Sometimes you need something different, some excitement outside of that relationship. So I could see dating going in that direction, definitely. I mean, you're already seeing it.
Totally already seeing it. And I think for me, as much as men need variety, I think women do too. I mean, I can only speak for myself. The reasoning for all of this, I think a couple things, right? We have social media. We have access to anybody and everybody on our phones, in our hands.
At the tip of our fingers.
Yeah, you have, your DMs have people asking you out, seeing what's up. I go everywhere and I meet and connect with people at the freaking grocery store. It's like you have options everywhere. So I think having that variety, I think, is also important for women. Women are told that girls only like, their guy and they're not attracted to anybody else. Yes, that happens. I've been in situations where I've fallen in love with someone and I don't see anybody else. I don't even want anybody else. But like you said, after 10 years, you're like, well, maybe we switch it up. Maybe we have some fun. Maybe we vibe out. I think it's really important to have a honeymoon phase with someone that you want to be with and just be exclusive, just you two, be monogamous for a while and then explore, because that can also break your relationship too. You may realize I really don't care about this person as much as I thought as I did, because I'm cool with them going out with other people and I'm cool with them doing this. And I feel like there has to be a strong bond. You have to create that bond first, and then I think you can go play and go explore. And I think it actually makes people happier, because you have that fun, but then that this is my person, this is my rock, this is the one that gives me emotional support every day, this is the one that has my back, this is the one that I have children with. I mean, there's so many levels, right? This is the person who I have the strongest friendship with. And I think the concept of being open is a little bit more for sexual purposes, which is a huge thing that ruins marriages and relationships. So I'm kind of see it as being a little bit of an opportunity for everyone to kind of explore themselves and have fun and not feel ashamed about it, right? I'm being honest with you. Hey, we're monogamish. I want to go do this, or I don't feel guilty responding to a DM, or my man can look through my phone and see me talking to other people or see the people trying to talk to me. And it's not this super protective, jealous, negative energy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
It's very okay, well then I'll just put a bag over my head and get off social media and never talk to anyone. That's never happening for me. You know what I mean? There's always going to be somebody knocking at the door for everybody, especially if you're online, unless you go full ghost, which that's not good for business. 100%, so 100%. I'm not doing that, right? You're always going to have temptation. And I think if you just structure it in a way that works better for you and works for you and your partner, then I think it's a win.
100%. I mean, it seems like the people out there would see it as a bit of a taboo, a bit of a stain on a relationship. But at the end of the day, it seems like it's coming about more and more. Now, can you say that an open relationship would ever lead to a healthy relationship? Maybe not at the beginning, but at some point within that relationship, can an open relationship ever be healthy?
I think so. I mean, a lot of the people who are in them are married. A lot of the people who I've met who have these incredible relationships are married and have been married for ever. And they're yeah, we do this and we have fun and we explore and we adventure. And I'm just wow, that's really cool. And they're but that's my girl. That's my man. We are solid. We built something together. And then we were able to kind of branch out and have some fun and explore and whatever. And I think that that's really cool, because you guys just posted a video of me talking about my fear of marriage. That's exactly what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
You literally took someone's fear and then just made it trendy and made it cool and made it okay for everybody, right? Because cheating is such a terrible thing. I've cheated, I've been cheated on. It's all very shitty, and it makes you question your entire existence, and it brings out your insecurities, and it causes anger and all these other negative emotions. But if I was just open and honest and said, hey, I wanted to act on this impulse, and my man was okay with that, or he was hey, I met this girl and she's really cute and I kind of want to hang out with her and just flirt with her. Again, I'm not in an open relationship, so it would be hard for me to be okay with that. But I think when you're And from what I'm seeing, I believe when you're really solid with someone, that kind of shit doesn't matter because you know that most of it is quite surface level and it's really just to be fun and flirty, not like I'm leaving you for this stranger that I met online. And if someone does do that, then you were never solid to begin with. And
Makes
that's
sense.
not an open relationship.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, that leads me to my next question. It's
Yeah.
more of a physical relationship versus an emotional relationship, because when you dive into the emotional aspect, it seems like maybe more the women instead of the guys would think that, okay, well, if he goes off and has a sexual relationship with somebody else, then she's going to open up to him emotionally. They're going to build a relationship, and that's what some women may be scared of. So is it more emotional, this type of open relationship style, or is it more physical?
I think for a lot of people, it's more physical, having more physical options. But then you see other like celebrities who've come out recently and said like they're in polyamorous relationships. They're like, I'm not in 3 relationships, I'm in 1. And I have a relationship with like these 3 different women and like everybody knows about it. I mean, these things exist. They just haven't really been talked about. And I think that's what we're going to see a lot more of in 2026 is people being like, I have an emotional connection with these 2 people and these 2 people know about each other or we all live together or whatever. And I know it sounds like kind of crazy. Like it sounds kind of insane. I think for me personally, I'd like to build a strong emotional connection with someone and then allow the openness to be more for like fun and variety. I think it would keep my man from cheating. I know it sounds crazy and people are like, wow, you're only into this stuff because it's men have let you down so much that you're like, might as well be open or might as well be poly. And I'm like, well, to a certain degree, that's kind of true. But then it's also like, this is biology. Every guy I've talked to and men who've cheated on me have told me it wasn't you, it was with me. And it wasn't about her being better than you. It was just about it being different. And then my own experience in cheating was never necessarily because the guy was particularly better than my man. It was just that I was experiencing something, I was going through something, and I needed to let that out, or I also wanted just something different. So if being open kind of fixes that in a way where we can honestly discuss our temptations and honestly discuss our urges and things like that, and then be open about it and possibly fulfill them together, I think that's kind of cool because then everyone is like getting along. I feel like we have so much shame and guilt and judgment and this is how you do a relationship and you can't even look in another woman's direction. I just feel like that's not real. And I feel like that doesn't align with the biology of men. I feel like that doesn't align with the biology of women. And I do see it as a positive thing when people can be honest with each other and, you know, fuck what anybody else thinks. Right?
No, what you're saying makes sense. I mean, honestly, I think both men and women share this fear of like getting played, getting cheated on, getting too close to somebody and you get your heart broken, that type of stuff. You have previous bad experiences. And honestly, generally speaking, I think we put too many rules on dating in general. We've done videos on like red flags and green flags and who to watch out. And it's kind of like, what's this all for? You know what I mean? Like people take dating too seriously. And I think going into 2026, people are going to be a little bit more open and not so serious about it because it's not helping anybody. A lot of people are single nowadays. So, you know, open relationships and maybe keeping the feelings out of it in that sense is a good thing.
Did you see that stat that was like 45% of women by 2030 are going to be single and have no kids?
Yes.
I've talked about it multiple times. We actually did a live New Year's Day right after the bell rang and midnight hit. We talked about that 50% potentially of women being single and childless by 2030. It's a scary thing.
Well, let's think about that. Why the fuck do you think that's happening? Look at all these rules. Look at all this bullshit. Look at all this accessibility that we have on our phones. Everyone's afraid of getting cheated on.
Correct.
And my philosophy was like, well, if you guys are going to cheat anyway, might as well find a way to make it okay. I know it sounds crazy, and I know you guys are probably going to come for me in the comments, but I really don't give a fuck. How dare you? I really don't give a fuck. Like, I'd rather have a man be honest and open with me and be like, hey, babe, like I have like a little crush on this chick that I met, and I would be like, okay, well, go see where it goes. It's all very surface level, right? There's a reason why we date and we're not like in these long-term relationships. You get to know someone, you realize, okay, this person isn't for me, but this was really fun and this was flirty, or I was really attracted to her, but that's kind of as far as it goes. Whereas like what someone may have with you is much deeper and is on a new level. But we have all these fucking rules and all this judgment and all this. I mean, literally guys are like, you're 33, you're single, you have no kids, you're this, that, and the third. And I'll be like, look, I live an amazing life and you can't call me a gold digger because I started my own business and I pay my own fucking bills. So women right now, it feels like we can't really win. So I'm not surprised at these statistics because everyone around us is telling us that if we're not, you know, barefoot and pregnant by 30, that we're fucking useless. But then if we want a man to provide for us, then we're fucking gold diggers. And I'm like, okay, well, how about fuck all of you? And I'm going to craft my own relationship with someone who wants to be with me. And if he wants to go do this and that, or if I want to go do this and that, we can actually have a conversation about it, analyze why we want to do A, B, C, D, and E, and then decide if we want to fucking do it and not give a shit about what anybody thinks. Mic drop.
Mic drop. Well, we talk about women and their standards. Now, do you think women having not an open relationship as part of one of their standards possibly holding them back from a healthy relationship?
Yeah, because look at what you're trying to do, you guys. You're saying like you can't follow other women on your phone. This thing is just, it's a machine. It has access to everything, to everyone. Temptation is everywhere. Like I'm here, like I'm not trying to fight the machine. And I'm also not saying like if you can't beat them, join them. But I'm also just like, again, figure out what works for you. You know, I think having insane expectations is annoying. Like I'm tired of that whole like must be this tall, must do this, must do that.
Ladies
like,
out there that have those expectations.
Yeah, you know, and then, you know, there's some guys too who have that as well. It's tough because as women, it's like we want to date someone on our level or better. And then men are like, I'll date the barista. I'll marry the barista from Starbucks because it's just different. You know what I mean? Our needs are different. But when I've been having to be a man for myself for so many years, I mean, there's a few guys I've been talking to. One of them said that the nicest thing to me, he was like, you've been working so much like your whole life. He's like, how about you take a few years off? And I was like, well, I could never do that because I've been working so hard on this. I'm not just going to like stop my business or stop making music. But he was like, but what if like I had your back and we got into a relationship and like you didn't have to work as hard. You can work because you want to, you know? And I said, I don't even know if I would be able to like relinquish control like that, or it would take me a while to do that. And he was like, that's okay. So I think if men too can understand that like women have had to put their big girl pants on and get big boy jobs and pay their bills and be independent. And then you wonder why she's not like a delicate water lily. Well, she's had to be a dude to survive. And there's a bunch of reasons for that, right? Society, the economy, politics, you know, feminism, all the bullshit, right? That's made people a certain way, but we have to adapt. We have to adapt to social media. It's not going anywhere. We have to adapt that there's access to anyone at all times. So either you trust me or you don't, right? I don't want to have to fight it. And I don't want to have to put these strict rules and all of this guilt and shame and consequences will come if you don't do this. I don't know. I haven't lived my life like that in a long time. I love being free, and that's the beauty that comes from being single. But in a relationship, you have to talk about those things. You have to discuss the boundaries. You have to see what everybody's cool with. There's probably going to be some trial and error, but I'm done fighting like the guilt, the shame. I'm done fighting the phone. I'm done fighting the, does he follow a bunch of, no, I don't care. If you love me, you love me. We can do this. We can have fun. We can work this out. If not, then like, I don't need you.
You're fed up and tired with the games. You just want to be straight and do it how it is, say it how it is.
100%. I feel like I've become such a straight shooter. Whereas like old Sasha was so much more of a pushover, so much more of like a nice girl, or like tried to be a nice girl. I carried a lot of guilt. I carried a lot of shame. I carried other people's burdens. And I finally just let all of that go and was just like, okay, it's not that deep.
Yeah.
It's not that deep. Yeah. You don't want to be with me? Okay, cool. Maybe you broke my heart a little bit. Maybe I thought you were special. Maybe I thought it was something, but like I no longer can actually give my heart to someone. Like this time last year, I got my heart broken by some dude who was trying to be all monogamous and trying to be like, this is what I want for my future. Start talking about the future. Like I said, don't talk to me about the future unless you're trying to have a future.
Did he buy chocolates and flowers and stuff, try to win you over?
I mean, no, he definitely bought me flowers, but yeah, that's a whole other thing. But to look at where I was last year and how upset I was about that situation, and then to look back now a year later, and I'm just like, I just don't care. I just don't care. You can't. I internalize all this hurt. I internalize all this frustration and anger, and it turns into insecurity. It turns into all this stuff. It's just like, guys, just worry about you. Just do you. Become the best version of yourself that you can, and you will attract other like-minded people. And let go of the rules, let go of the stigma. You know, that's really, I think, the best advice I could give going into dating in 2026 is just like, don't give a fuck, don't take yourself too serious, and have fun with it. You know,
100%. I think folks do want to start off 2026 on a strong note and continue it through the rest of the year. And by eliminating the game playing, the stress within the relationships, the jealousy, the heartaches, the roller coaster rides, the ups and downs, just the insanity that can come within a relationship, and a woman dealing with a man dealing with a woman, and their issues, I think letting that go, being at peace with what is going to help people have more of a sharp mind, be able for them to accomplish what they want to accomplish in their career or their goals that they have, and not stress out these little things, because a lot of issues stem from the relationships that men have with women and vice versa. A lot of the problems that are going on, a lot of, one of the big reasons why we have this podcast is because of the issues that men and women have in relationships, how people can't get along and agree with certain things and certain processes that they have in mind. So I think it's great that, you're opening up to that. You're, for the most part, into the non-monogamy. Now, going deep as you are, or maybe deeper at some point, are you able to backtrack eventually, and are you willing to become monogamous with someone and have that one special person? Or is it kind of like, if it happens, great. If it doesn't, whatever?
I think that's kind of how I'm looking at life entirely, is like, if it happens, great. If it doesn't, okay, then it wasn't meant to be. I'm not forcing anything. I'm not forcing shit this year. No more. No more daydreaming of the future. No. If it happens organically, because I can't fall in love if there's no future. That's what women fall in love. We fall in love with what we hear. So when you guys sweet talk us and you love bomb us and you tell us everything we want to hear, and you're like, oh, what are your baby names? No, don't do that. Don't fucking do that shit this year. We're not doing that this year. And falling in love with the future, right? You fall in love with the potential of being with someone and what can you build together. And together you can always build more than by yourself, right? But then when I meet someone and I'm like, okay, I know for a fact there's no real future between us. Like, you're younger than me, or you live over here, or this is your path, or you're forever not wanting to get married. Okay, cool. Then like, I know that like, then this is what it is here in the now, in the present. And I'm cool with that. And that's something I realized about myself, was like, when I get my heart broken is because people were promising me the future. They were promising me and looking, planning ahead, and like, oh, come back for this, and oh, be my date for this wedding or whatever. So when you start to talk about the future, that's when it starts to kind of fuck with our brains. Mm-hmm. So ladies, so for all the women out there, you know what I mean? When guys start telling us all that shit that we want to hear, that is how we fall in love, is like through words and through hearing stuff. Men are much more visual, And I mean, I'd love for you guys to answer kind of like, what do you think is it that makes a man fall in love? Even if it's under false pretense.
What makes a man fall in love with a woman? Honestly, I think the more time a man spends with a woman, you're going to catch feelings just by spending time with her. If she's feminine, if you enjoy spending time together, once you have sex with her, I know guys will say like, oh, I banged her and I don't feel anything. Once you have sex a couple times, you're going to start to catch feelings. A woman that's there for you, that's kind of like reliable.
Yeah, I mean, just hopping on that, same thing. Guys fall for women quicker. I mean, I think the big thing are the looks. And that's why some guys are scared of makeup and things like that. They say that it's fraudulent because once some women take off the makeup, it's a totally different person they didn't expect. So that's one thing. So, men, I think both men and women need to take their time if they have that mentality to fall in love with somebody, to take their time and do so. But for men, it's more like her actions, right? How does she act around you when you're alone and when you're in public, right? When you're alone, does she bring you peace? Does she bring you sanity? When things are all over the place for you, does she kind of bring you down to earth, tell you everything's going to be okay, help you move forward and be that support system that you need to push ahead in life and overcome the trials and tribulations that are really kind of that men really have to embark on and have no choice on taking that toll, taking that with them and pushing forward. It's one of those things that if women are there for men and support them, bring peace, they don't fight.
You'll catch feelings.
Create drama, they'll catch feelings. They'll say, "Oh, this woman truly cares about me. Her actions are speaking a lot, and I'm going to just dedicate myself to her and start working towards a fruitful relationship with her." I think that's huge.
So then the last time, let's go backwards. So the last time that you guys got your heart broken, where like you caught feelings for a girl, what was it that happened that fizzled the relationship? For me, when I last gave my heart to someone, I thought he was in it. It was like texting me, calling me every day, planning trips, talking about the future, excessively, constant communication, there for me, giving me peace. I could cry to this person. He was there for me. He wanted to hear my highs and lows and all of that jazz. And that's kind of what made me fall for him, because I was like, wow, this person wants to be there for me through the good, the bad, and the ugly. What was it for you guys that you were like, wow, I love this. I fell for this girl because of A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then what was it that fucked it all up?
The last scenario I had, I was hooking up with her for like 6 months, and she straight up met another person that I didn't know about. Nando knows this story. I took her to Florida, and I felt something was shifting with her energy and how she was acting, because I remember I was telling you before we went on the trip. We get back, we stopped talking, and she had a whole nother person. So it wasn't even like that it fizzled out. I didn't feel it fizzling out. It was more just like a one-day energy shift, boom, had another person. And I've also had the other thing play out where you're in a long-term relationship and you just start to, things become mundane. You start to argue. It's not as exciting anymore. That's more of like a long-term problem. But the most recent thing I experienced was exactly that. The woman just meeting another guy.
So during those 6 months that you guys were hooking up and talking and stuff, she obviously had other options, right? And I tell everyone this, like, don't just date one person. Yeah. Because you put your eggs in one basket. Like the amount, like I got my heart broken by a guy, and I was just like, the amount of people that I turned down because I thought you fucking liked me is embarrassing. Like you would be embarrassed. You know what I mean? If I showed you the men that I turned down to date you, and this is how you treat me, right? That was how I felt, right? That was like angry. That was Sasha's ego coming out, going like, wow, like I put my incredible fun single life on hold for your ass. Were you guys in an exclusive? Did you have that conversation?
It wasn't an exclusive relationship. That's the thing. It wasn't exclusive.
After 6 months, you guys like hadn't had that talk, but you were inviting her to Florida. You were planning trips. You were like, all right, we're moving in that direction, but it was never explicitly spoken about.
No.
And what do you think that would have changed had you guys had a conversation sooner?
Honestly, what I learned,
instead of trying to be cool and like going with the flow.
I think what I learned in that scenario was like I came to the realization that I was trying to force something that wasn't going to work. You ever been in one of those where like you like the person and the more you push for it to work, you push the other person away? That's what happened in that scenario. And I realized it afterwards. I was like, shit, like I was putting more and more effort, and maybe I was love bombing like what you described. The trip was unnecessary. Like we didn't know each other for that long for me to like go to that extent. But that was a lesson learned for me. I was like, damn, you had a whole other person. So
yeah, we all learn from our mistakes.
And how did you find out?
We stopped talking. We didn't unfollow each other on social media. So eventually she just started posting the new person.
Oh man.
Yeah. So that was like, damn, like, shit.
Yeah, we all learn from our mistakes. Even the experts here, the experts that, are in the dating field, we all have those mistakes. I mean,
Yeah, what was
No.
yours? So last time you fell for someone and you got burned, because right, we're all here because of
Yeah.
that, right? We've all fallen for someone, we've all been hurt, we've all been burned.
we've all
so
had
like,
something happen.
so like you met a girl and you were like, wow, this girl's bringing me peace. Sex is great. We talk every day. She's wonderful. She's feminine. She's beautiful to be around. I feel inspired by her. What happened?
With my situation, it was more like just distancing. Once I brought up the let's be exclusive, then she became more distant. And those famous words, I need to find myself. When a woman needs to find herself, that means that pack it up because it's over.
It's over.
You know? So I
Yeah.
think I immediately had that gut feeling that this ain't going to work out. And she started distancing herself physically because, you know, it was very romantic. It was a very physical relationship.
Yeah.
Not just emotional, but physical as well. And when I saw that, I was like, I'm not wasting my time anymore. And that's it. You just move on. And that's it. That's the most recent. And ever since then, it's just, hey, that single life, enjoy, experience, and see what happens. If something comes up that
See, like
works
you were
out.
asking us before, like we're fairly simple. Like when we meet a girl we like and you start having sex and like hanging out, we catch feelings pretty easily.
As a guy, yeah.
Yeah.
As a
I
guy,
mean, yeah,
it's
women
not
too.
really-
Women too,
Yeah.
for sure. My thing is like, could everyone's heart and feelings have been spared by a conversation? Could everybody had just been a little bit more honest and been like, yeah, I'm seeing other people, or like, you know, you're dating under these kind of like these old school rules in this new school world. And that was something that like really woke me up because I was just like, why am I crying over this man? How did I get bamboozled? Mind you, there was communication. There was nonstop communication. And it's just really sad and pathetic that women have to be like, look at all the evidence. Like you have to like I'm in a court case, right? I'm like, here is the file of all the screenshots of all the documentation of everything that we spoke about together. You read the file and you tell me if I got fucking played. And the verdict was yes. And it's happened so many times. And then, you know, you can also get played in the other worlds too, you know, like, you know, people who are into open relationships also use that as a way to like have their cake and eat it too. But you have to be honest. It's like, I wouldn't be okay if I was in an open relationship and like my guy was just like out fucking whoever doing whatever and like I didn't know anything about it. Right? Like there has to be some sort of communication that is like literally key. If not, then feelings get hurt. And then you're like, well, why the fuck are you even with me? Just to tell people that you're with me, right? Like what's the real hidden agenda? Like there's bad actors in every form of a relationship. You can weed them out very easily by having a conversation. Like I'm sure if you talk to homegirl and you were just like, hey, like I really like you. I really like where this is going. Like I just want to be clear, like I'm not dating anybody else. Are you still talking to anyone else? Or like, do you see this going further with me? And then if she hesitates or there's some weirdness,
that tells you what you need to know.
It tells you what you need to know. And then you probably wouldn't have booked that trip to Florida. And then you wouldn't have had that upsetting story view where you're like, wow, she got another fucking dude. Like you were, you know, and women don't just post a new guy right when they meet a new guy.
Oh no, they were already seeing each other.
Yeah, we post you when we think like
This is it.
this
Real
is
deal.
this is the real deal.
Yeah.
And you know, we've been dating you for a while, you know, before we go and do a post like that. So, you know, maybe the key here too is like, you guys have to talk to each other.
100%. I mean, I had that talk with her. I don't think I dove super deep, but I could tell right when she said what she said that it was like, all right, you know, I was still with her, dropped her off. And then I was like, in my pit feeling in my stomach deep down, I was like, this ain't going to work out. And I slowly but surely started backing away, and I could tell that she was backing away as well with those physical feelings that we had for each other.
You just said something very interesting. You were like, I didn't want to go in too deep. I didn't want to go in too hard. I feel like I do that all the time. I'm like restraining myself from asking an honest question because look at all the dating advice we have, right? It's like, don't right off the bat be like, why are you single? You know, don't right off the bat be like, how many kids do you have? You know, it's like, get to know someone, you know what I mean? And then what was it that made you not flat out ask her like, hey, do you want to be mine? Like, what was it that made you, like, why did you tread so lightly? What was the fear there?
Well, I did ask her to be my girlfriend.
Okay.
And then that's where she said what she said, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I had that feeling. And it didn't work out. But the good thing is that, after having a fair share of relationships before that as well, I wasn't too invested into this particular woman that it was like, okay, it kind of sucked, but easy move on. So that's kind of the thing. And I kind of knew her situation with the ex kind of hovering in the shadows, possibly potentially being able to come back. Like I said, like we say all the time, women, and you mentioned it, that women are seeing other guys sometimes while they're seeing you. Women have a roster, and most of them, and when they're exclusive, forget about a roster single. That's different. Single fun time. That's a whole different ball game. But when we're talking about exclusivity and monogamous and just that one woman, you have to keep in mind that women have a roster. You have to figure out a way to make sure that that roster is closed and deleted before you get into a serious relationship with her. I mean, that's my take with that.
Yeah, but, we always know who's next. There's always somebody, right? We've talked about this. Women have more options. Like, if we were in an open relationship, I'd be like, okay, my DMs are full. People ask me out often, and I love it. I love the attention. It's wonderful. I've met some really, really lovely people. I've been networking a bunch. Being single is really fun. And I think if I was in an open relationship, I think I would have more options to date other people or to do other fun activities than my man would. My man would really have to pursue a girl. I don't feel like you said, women have rosters, men don't. I think some men do. But if I was like, okay, Rob, you and I are in a relationship and we're open. So-and-so asked me out on a date. I think I'm going to go. Is that okay with you? And you're like, yeah, babe, that's fine. Whatever, whatever the dynamics are. And I said to you, like, oh, are you going to date someone? Or did you meet someone that you like? Like, you would have to wine and dine because women are intellectual. You need to stimulate our mind for us to even want to go home with you, right? We need to be wined and dined. We need to be treated and feel special and important. And then if you're in an open relationship, you have permission to do that. But I just think that it would be a very uneven opportunity, right? It's like, I have more options than you do. And then it's like, well, how fun is this open relationship? And I think that is important to understand, right? Is that we all have options. I think there was a percentage that was 60% of women in relationships know who the rebound would be if they got divorced or if they broke up, but there's always somebody waiting. I know it sounds crazy, but just with the statistics and the way life is, people are like, yeah, whatever, I'm still going to knock on that door. They're probably going to break up soon.
You think the people that are in a relationship or a marriage right now, there's a good chance that one or the other person's talking to somebody else or screwing somebody on the side? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I do. I would be shocked if that, I also don't think when you ask people that question that they're going to wholeheartedly tell you the truth.
Right. If you know, of course.
I think that.
But behind the scenes.
I think when you kind of live a more godly life and you have a relationship kind of based around Christ, I think that those relationships last longer because couples that pray together stay together. I do believe in that. I really do believe in that. I think that that's a beautiful thing. I think monogamy is a beautiful thing. I just feel like for me, I've been trying to be monogamous my entire dating life, and it just hasn't worked out for me.
That was going to be my next question. So what is it about monogamy that just keeps people unhappy in the long term? What's failing with that whole concept of just two people staying loyal together?
I would say it's a lack of variety, in life. I think it's also people get too comfortable, too routine. They're saying that people are moving in together really quickly and then they're not having sex. Literally you move in together and all the spark is gone. It's you can't just get married and your life is over. You can't ever stop dating your girl. You can't. You have to make her feel beautiful and fun all the time. And she's going to do all those things for you. That's why they say relationships are work. You don't just okay, well, I'm married now, so you're going to do all the cooking and the cleaning, and then you have to fuck me whenever I say so. And it's just like, that's not a relationship. That's not what I signed up for when we were dating, and you were treating me like a princess, and you were buying me flowers, and we were going on trips, and like now we're married, and like all of a sudden it's like no effort. I think that that's the issue, is people have put marriage into like a grocery checklist, and they're like, okay, well, I have the house and I have the job and I have the girl, and now we're going to get married, and we've done this, and we've paid for this expensive party, you know, and vowed under God. And then now, like, we're going to get divorced several years later because I'm bored.
It becomes routine and boring. It's exactly what it is. And then I think this is really what leads people to cheat in general. It doesn't necessarily make them bad people. Maybe they didn't. Look, when people cheat, they usually do it on the side. I think the reason they do it on the side is because they don't want to hurt the other person.
Oh, 100%.
So
100%. So maybe instead of hurting the other person, you have an honest conversation and be like, hey, babe, why haven't we had sex in 8 months? Hey, babe, this is not what we said we would do in our vows. You know, I feel like, again, communication. We're not talking. They're not talking to each other, right? Oh, we've been together for so long. This is just what it is. Or, you know, he makes all the money and I don't. So like, what am I going to do? How am I going to start over? I'm going to just suddenly get back into the workforce and save up money. And have you seen how expensive it is to live on your own these days? You know, a lot of people feel trapped. A lot of people are comfortable. I think there's a lot of reasons why people cheat and don't actually leave, especially when you have children. It's even more complicated. But then you live an unhappy life. And if you do have kids, they can feel your unhappiness and they can feel that energy. And then other issues come up and are brewed from that negative energy. Like, I just genuinely right now in my life, I feel really free. Mm-hmm. And everyone I talk to, I'm really honest about everything. You know, I'm like, I got to get to know you first, you know, or like, oh, we'll spend time together. Like, I've been love bombed. Didn't come right out and say like, hey, you love bombed me, you know, like obviously that first time I did, I let him have a piece of my mind, but it did happen again a little bit last year. There was a moment, but instead of me being upset about it as deeply as I was upset about it the first time, I saw the signs and like cut it off quickly and was like, you're playing me. Like, you lied to me. You're like, oh, this is what I want. I'm looking for this type of relationship. And like, you're the girl for me and blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden, like, your actions are not following it up. So like, goodbye. I'm not going to sit here and be like, well, he said, and that's the problem, ladies. All we do is say, well, he said he was in love with me. Well, he said, you know, I'm his Taylor Swift, his Travis Kelce. You know what I mean? Like, we all sit here and like, believe the shit that they tell us. And it's like, if the actions and the words don't line up, then they are lying to you. Then it is a lie. And that goes for women as well. Girls be doing that shit all the time. Women in male fields, I like to say. You know, 100%. Just like girls be love bombing too. And, you know, I just think with honest communication and not being afraid to speak up and be like, hey, well, you said this and like now you're acting weird. You know, like I invited you to come meet my family and 2 weeks later you're like your phone's off in the middle of the night. Like what's going on? Right.
Yeah, I actually notice a lot of women bring up the whole love bombing topic. So for anybody that doesn't know what that is or how that looks, so describe a typical love bombing scenario and why don't women like it?
Okay. So I actually kind of secretly love being love bombed because why would you not be obsessed with me? Right? Like, why would you not, like when you meet someone and you have that connection and that chemistry and you just want to like rip their clothes off and like, just like, you just want to like eat them, you know, like that feeling, that attraction, that whatever. And you're laughing together and you're vibing and like everything is so great. You're like, oh, whoa, like this is like the beginning of that Disney love story. Everything is going great. So I love when I have connections like that. Where it becomes love bombing is when they start saying a bunch of shit that they don't mean. That's a love bomb. It's like obsessed with you for a couple of weeks, sometimes even a couple of days, and then all of a sudden they either like ghost you or pull back or don't come through or are late all the time. Like they just start not, the actions are not following the words. And that is the definition of a love bomb. It's like you're inundating me with love and affection and constant texts and good morning and good night and you're beautiful. And maybe you're going on dates, maybe you go on a trip, maybe whatever. And then all of a sudden like the rug just gets ripped out from under you. That's a love bomb. You're like, okay. Oh, wow. Okay. You were obsessed with me for 3 weeks. This is now expired. you just wasted my time. It was really pretty and magical for the few moments that it was happening. But yeah, you just lied to me. And I guess you got bored of me after 2 weeks or whatever.
So it's not the love bombing itself that's like the turn off. It's like, oh, this guy's just saying all these things just to get what he wants out of me.
Yeah, but how about you just say that? Because I also might be down too, right?
Yeah.
Like if you just tell a girl like, hey, I just want to hook up, she might be down.
Yeah, right.
Hey, we have no future together. This is where I'm going with my life. This is where you're going with yours. But I'm really attracted to you and I'd love to take you out and have fun. But like, I'm not looking for anything serious. Like, just say that.
Yeah.
Just say that.
Yeah. Avoid the games and
you know what
facade.
I mean? I feel bad for the girls that are like falling for these dudes. I felt bad for myself. I was so mad at myself too. I was like, I can't believe I fell for that. And now it's just really hard to play me like that again. And it happened for like 2 seconds, but my gut feeling, I was like, oh, this guy's playing games. And I was right. And then I wasn't as hurt about it. I mean, I was still hurt, but I wasn't as hurt about it because I was like, it's okay. I've seen this play before and I'm glad I found out now and not 3, 4, 5 months from now.
Yeah, you live and you learn.
You know?
Like, you pick up on that pattern after a while and then you'll, be able to watch out for it in the future.
I mean, with love bombing, you're creating a bit of a fallacy because the thing is that if women love bomb men and men love bomb women and they don't really mean it, they just do it for a certain interest, then you don't really actually have those feelings or love the person.
It's more of a lustful thing. That's another thing I hear women
a
say.
lust bomb.
Yes.
It's kind of a lust bomb. I get it. Totally.
Is that a new term? Lust bomb?
I think that's a new term. Lust
Lust
bomb.
bomb.
Because it's not really love. You just probably just want to smash, and that's okay too. Just fucking say it. Just fucking say it. Do not lure women in. Well, I wouldn't be able to pull her if I was honest and said I just wanted to fuck her. Okay, well, then you're a liar. You know what I mean? Like, don't lie to get women in bed with you. There's so many girls that are down. There's so many girls. There's so many options. That girl that's like, hey, I want a real relationship. I want to get married. I don't want to have sex before marriage. Like, don't lie to her. Don't love bomb her for the purpose of the conquest. There's plenty of other bitches you can conquest who are ethically want to be conquested. Like, I just feel like to lie to get what you want is just not cool in 2026. I mean, it was never cool, but it's like especially not cool now because of the way people are more open-minded now and changing the way they look and handle different types of relationships and different types of friendships.
Well, of course, absolutely. I mean, the present now and the future moving forward is what we've got. So, of course, any sort of love bombing in these times are a no-go. I mean, love bombing is an issue. One issue I see it with men doing it is they love bomb and then they fall into that trap where they start simping, right? So men, you don't love bomb women, especially if they don't have that sort of same feeling towards you. You're falling into a trap. You're putting yourself in a situation where you're going to end up disappointed. You're going to end up upset. And you're going to end up, like I said before, simping and just giving out your resources and your time and your energy. You're going to expect something from it. You're not going to get what you expected from it, and then you're going to lose out. You're going to be pissed. So that's one thing that men have to avoid doing. And of course, the other thing with love bombing is for neither side to do it, because if they don't truly mean it, then there's nothing behind to back it up.
Then it's a lie.
It's a lie.
And why are we lying? Why are we lying when we don't have to? We don't have to pretend to be anything anymore. Like, you can be honest about what you want. You know how many guys I've met who are like, hey, like, I'd love to hang out with you, but I don't want to be in a relationship. Okay, then the ball's in my court. Then I can decide because I already know what time it is. I can choose if I want to go or not. And I can't be mad about it. And I can't be feeling some type of way about it. I either go and know what I'm getting into or I don't. And either option is okay. But as long as you're giving somebody a choice, I think that's cool. Versus like literally bamboozling them into thinking that you like them to sleep with them.
I think the deep-rooted issue is men not feeling that they can go up to a woman and be like, hey, I want to have sex with you, or I want to fuck
direct.
you.
Yeah.
Being direct. And them being able to get it. They see that more as a turnoff. I mean, for a man to come up to a woman, there's plenty of women I've seen and, just for the first time, or women that I've known for a long time. And for me to go up to them and be like, to either one, the one that I've known for a while or the one I just met, for me to go up to them and be like, hey, I want to have sex with you, or I want to fuck you, or have a romantic relationship with you. For guys, in their mind, they think that doing that is going to push a woman away. Now,
There's the thing called game. You got to have game. Like, don't just walk up to me and be like, hey, I really want to fuck you. There is a way to do it.
Right.
There is a way to do it, and there is a way to say it where you're not lying.
and that's what I was getting to. I was getting to that point where men should create that vibe and that feeling, like show that interest and express that interest in a way that she knows that you want to eventually get her in bed. Create that wonderful tension, that romantic tension, that sexual tension between each other. It could be escalation with some touches, with words that you say, just the conversation that you have, and work to it. And that's how you get it. Have game.
Have game, be fun and flirty, get to know her a little bit, because you never know. Maybe you do want a relationship. You don't know people. You don't know people.
Until you
have to-
do.
Until you do. You got to get to know them. And I think that that's like so important, right? Like have confidence, have charisma, you know, meet women, go out. We want that. But also too, like ladies, don't be oblivious. Every man wants to fuck.
Yes.
Please.
Correct.
Let's be honest about
It's
it.
one of the biggest reasons why men go out to clubs, bars, etc.
Right.
Exactly. So like don't be shocked when it's like, "Oh, he just wanted to hook up with me."
Yep.
Yes.
You have needs.
Yes.
Just
That's exactly what it is. Everybody has needs, and don't pretend like you don't either. You know, so I already know what time it is when I go out and when people approach me. I already know initially when a man meets me, he finds me attractive, he wants to fuck. Like right off the bat. It's like I would fuck her.
Sexy
Okay, cool.
time.
I know that. Okay. I am responsible for kind of being a little bit of a gatekeeper. Going, okay, well, you can get to know me. Maybe we can go on a date. Maybe we can go to dinner. Maybe we can talk. And that's kind of when you can then say like, hey, I'm not like really ready for a relationship right now. I'm still kind of like figuring things out, but like I'm really attracted to you. I'd love to like, you know, kind of see where this goes, or just be straight up and be like, I'm not looking for a relationship, but I think you're super sexy and I would like, I'd love to have sex with you. I mean, there's so many ways to say that without saying it. You know what I mean? There's so many different ways to say
I think
that.
you have to build a certain level of comfort amongst each other before you admit that, right? You have
But
to-
just know off the bat, when a guy approaches you, he wants to have sex with you. Like he's interested in an intimate moment with you.
that's pretty much the point
That's the whole point.
of
So
why
like,
guys go up to talk to women.
yeah.
yeah. So like, please don't get it confused. You know,
Yeah.
I will say this: I do not like when like I've met a guy and it was like he was charismatic and fun and flirty and everything was a vibe, and then right out the gate he sends me something like a sexual text. Then I'm kind of like,
And that's what I was saying.
you know what I mean?
My-
Like too soon. You gotta like play the game because it's up in the air. But I'm also not oblivious that like if you're texting me, I know what you want from me. And that's fine. We're human. That's what it is. I'm not gonna sit here and act like that's wrong. That it's not wrong. It's natural. It's biology. It is what it is. But if you want to get me interested in this concept of hooking up with you and not having a relationship, then you got to flirt with me. You got to charm me. You got to show me that like you're actually a cool person, that we have a connection. You know what I mean? And then if it becomes more, great. But like, you know, like I said, be honest about what you want, but you still have to play a little bit of that game. You still have to flirt. You have to be charismatic. You need to make her feel safe. You know, you don't get some girl's number and then you're like, hey, I want you and I want to smash. I mean, very few times has someone like really come at me like that, and I've been like, yeah, okay, great. You know, like that. It really doesn't like there's a formality, there's a swag, there's a vibe you have to create, like you said, a safe and comfortable vibe with someone, and then you can open up and be honest. But
yeah, that's absolutely
that's just some facts right there.
yeah, that's absolutely not the way men should approach it, is by being super direct and being like, hey, I want to be intimate with you. Boom. Like, okay, who are you? That's what she's gonna say.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, excuse me, who are you? But still, when you do get an opportunity to be direct, you know what I mean? When you do get an opportunity to talk to her, or you're like, hey, I invited her over and I'm cooking dinner for her, and I know that, like, if a guy invites you over to his house, you're going over there knowing that you most likely are going to hook up. You know what I mean? Like if he invites you out to a dinner or to a coffee or to a concert or whatever, like it's a little bit more of like a get to know you and let's have an experience together. But if somebody's inviting you straight to their house or, hey, we're at a bar, let's go to my place after, you're not just going to go talk. That's not what you're doing. Works. So no, ladies, if you're going to go home with a man, that is what it is about, respectfully. And if you're okay with that, then go and have fun. And I wish you the best. But if you're not, and you're going to be like, oh my God, I can't believe I went back to his house after the date and then he tried to have sex with me. Duh.
What did you think it was?
Like, duh.
What were the plans?
You know, and that's the other thing too, is like, I also don't like when women sit there and then talk shit about guys for doing that. Right. When I'm like, well, that's not fair. Like if he wasn't attracted to you and he didn't
only want one thing, like that whole.
And I don't always think that's true either. I think men want emotional connection too. I think men want to feel safe. I think, men want to have fun. Men love women. They love us.
Yeah. We say it here on the show and they think we're misogynists, but we're not. We have one of
We're awesome, okay? We're awesome. And just like I love men and so many women love men. This whole divisiveness between men and women is really stupid. And it's been done on purpose, right? It's been done as rage bait. It's been done to, purposefully divide us for a plethora of reasons, which we don't even have to get into that. But it's just like, don't talk shit when you know what time it is. Be smart. You know what I mean? Be smart. If a guy asks you over to his house, there is a high chance he wants to hook up with you or that you will hook up and you're going to put yourself in that situation. If you don't want that, babe, then you just got to say, hey, I don't think I'm ready for that step. Like, why don't we go do dinner and like maybe go get a drink or something, and then she'll get to know you and then maybe she'll go home with you afterward. But then that gives you a chance to get to know her, and clearly she's not down. She's not DTF right away. Well, like maybe she's looking for a relationship. I don't know. You got to figure that out.
Women prefer to kind of have that build up, and I think as guys, a mistake we make is we try to go directly to it, and it doesn't work, right? You have to build up the attraction, and like women like that anticipation that leads up to it. We're more just direct, like I'm ready now, from the bar straight to the bedroom. So
no, we need that. We need emotional connection. We need that. We need you to cruise control. You know what I mean? We need you to create that vibe, create that space.
Exactly. It's like you get that new baseball glove, right? It's like meeting that new girl, right? You want to break in that baseball glove so it's nice and easy to be able to go out and catch that baseball. Same idea with the woman. You meet her, you talk to her, you have that conversation. Yeah, your intentions are to eventually get to that romantic moment that you have with her. But at the end of the day, you have to break the ice with the woman. You have to have her open up to you emotionally. Men out there, you have to make that emotional connection, because you want to get straight to business, but she's not ready for that yet. She's equipped, but not ready for that yet. You have to make that opening and make that vibe, that connection, and get that going, get the juices flowing. And then she might be more into it than you are at some point.
Even if it is just a hookup, you still want to go through that entire procedure. Like even if it's just a friends with benefits, like very few times is it like, hey, ring, 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 do you want to come over? And then you come over for like an hour and a half and then you go home. Like that doesn't really happen. Like women don't really operate like that. Then we feel used and then we feel played, even though we're like, yeah, I wanted to do it too, but like I don't feel special. I don't feel important. And like, no matter what, like if you're spending time with a woman, even if she's just like your hookup friend, you still want to make her feel important. You want to make her feel safe. You don't want to make any woman feel like they're just a fucking throwaway.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's why I feel like men who do get a lot more girls and do have a more exciting sex life are because they treat all the women that they sleep with respect. And
makes sense.
they treat them well.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important. And then you develop a friendship. Because, again, we're in a new day and age. Not every girl wants to be in a relationship.
Correct.
Not every girl is down with that, And so communication, you can see what type of connection they're looking for, what type of relationship or that they want or what they don't want. And you guys have to talk about it and you have to be honest about it. But do it in like a nice, charismatic way. Don't just be like, hey, you're hot. Do you want to have sex with me? Yeah, I feel like that doesn't always work. It might. But it doesn't always work.
Even leading to that one night stand, you still have to have some emotional connection, some spark that's going to get her to say, yes, let's do it. Let's go back. Let's be romantic. Let's be intimate. But it is crazy because you do see nowadays, there's some some women I know coming out of like 5-year relationships, couple-year relationships, and they want to, I guess, build their roster. They don't want to be exclusive. They want to date around. And it's based off of their experience within that relationship that really got them to the point where I want to start exploring myself and working on myself and enjoying myself. And it makes sense, and you get it. You get why that is. So,
yeah, I mean, look at the numbers, look at the stats, look at the state of the world. And I think if everyone just talked about things more, a little bit more openly, the same way that we're having this conversation, like some of the things that I say to you guys are things that like I have struggled to verbalize in my life.
Feels good to say it sometimes. Just let it out.
It does, right? And it's hard sometimes to, when you're in the moment with someone, to say something like, hey, like, I don't know if I'm like ready for a relationship yet. And then you can see like the light in his eyes be like, oh, I actually kind of thought we were more, or you know what I mean? Or you're talking to a girl and you're like, yeah, I'm just not in a position to date right now. And then you kind of see maybe she gets a little bit sad. You might hurt some feelings, but at least you're being honest and you're not like stringing someone along for months at a time, making them think and plan a future with you for them to not happen. That is so much more damaging than it is if you're just upfront. So I do appreciate the more upfrontness. I'm much more direct now, which I like. And if I like somebody, I will tell them. Tell them. I'll be like, I like you. I kind of like you.
That's awesome.
And I'd be like, I'd like to see you again. Like, I loved our connection. Like, I'd really like to see you again.
Yeah, and that type of clear communication works. I think everything we spoke about today kind of points to the same thing. Is like what was missing from dating is people hide their true intentions. They're not direct with what they want. There's a lot of game playing. We were talking before about how like people try to analyze dating and turn it into this whole science. We've done it too, right? Red flags, green flags. Don't date somebody if they work in this field. And like we put all these rules around it, and it's like enough of that already, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, there are green flags and red flags. Those
of
are
course,
definitely
it is a real thing.
But to say that like you can't date a bartender because they're known for being promiscuous, I think is a little unfair.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I've been, my recent romantic, intimate escapades, I've had that moment where I told that woman, hey, this is not serious. It's just being intimate. If it's something that you're into, that's great. Obviously, I built that emotional connection with her, kind of opened her up a little bit with the icebreakers, just kind of feeling the vibe out, making sure the vibe in general is great for that woman, made her comfortable, and it worked out. There's sometimes they do want that relationship. I'm like, hey, I don't want to lead you on. So this is, I tell them, like, I don't want you to think that this is going to lead to a relationship, because then they start asking, well, what are you looking for? Are you eventually looking towards a relationship, et cetera, et cetera? And I'm like, I say I go with the flow. If it works out to be like that, great. But that's not my intention. So I don't want you to think that I'm leading you on by being intimate with you and then you thinking or hoping for a relationship afterwards.
Because that's being unethical. That's the whole ethically non-monogamous is like all of these new terms that are coming out. Yes, they're all like kind of their terms and labels and buzzwords and whatnot, but I kind of appreciate it because it kind of is opening this new light of like the root problem for all of this is that people are not honestly communicating. People are not being honest about their intentions, like you said before. And so my challenge for everyone this year is to like keep it fucking real. How about that? Keep it fucking real. There's so many options out there. You do not need to pretend that you want to be in a relationship with a girl to get her in bed. You don't have to do that anymore. There's so many people who are just done with relationships, and call it hookup culture, call it whatever you want. At the end of the day, there's someone for everyone, and you don't have to lie to hook up with someone. Just find somebody else. Straight up, just find somebody else.
Yeah, you can tell when someone's done. A woman that I know pretty well deleted the pictures, started going out more, being open about she wants something different, and that's where it ended up. After 4 or 5 years, whatever the case is. So it does seem that the tide is turning, and keeping it real should be the motto for 2026. It should have been the motto, for
forever.
for 2019, 2021. But if it hasn't been, men, women, keep it real with each other, because I think that's going to clear up a lot of issues. That's going to prevent a lot of headaches and
hurt,
harming one another emotionally, not physically. We don't, advocate for any physical harm. Domestic violence is off the charts, as we've said before. It continues to be, and it's sad. And, being clear and communicating is absolutely one of the best ways to avoid that sort of circumstance, an issue.
Yep. Best way to avoid getting played is just to be honest. Because if you're honest and maybe that person is dishonest towards you, right? They're telling you everything you want to hear. They're pretending like they want to be in a relationship. Well, like that karma is going to come for that person.
Yeah.
You know,
goes around, comes around.
It always comes out. You'll find out soon enough. You just got to be brave enough and strong enough to say, okay, you're not who I thought you were, and walk away, and just trust in God and trust that karma will get those people. Just keep living honest and true to yourself, and be honest and true to other people that you date. And I really think we're going to have a great year. Truly.
100%.
Yeah,
we went a little bit over an hour. Do you guys want to switch it up to the live?
Yeah, so we are going to go live.
Let's go live.
We're going to go live. That's unlimited. It's up to Sasha and
Jenna. We got J-Dog in the back.
We got J-Dog in the back. Shout out to the whole crew today, Jenna and Sasha being on the show today. We really appreciate it. And we're going to go live, so it's up to them how long they want to go. But
let's do it.
We're for us, it could be however long the ladies are good for. So, but yeah, let's turn into the live. We'll talk more about the love bombing. We'll talk more about the monogamy, non-monogamy, and open relationships. I think it's a great topic to discuss in 2026. I think it's a great topic for you folks out there, both men and women, to discuss what options you have in that case. Is monogamy working for you? Maybe it isn't. Is there a change that has to be made? Maybe it's time to make a change, and it's something that you have to sit down with your significant other to figure that out. So
yeah, amen to that.
Yeah, so we'll get more into that with the live, along with some other things. So one more time, Sasha, do you want to drop where the people can find you and the adventures and projects that you have going on this year?
Yeah, you guys can find me under Sasha Prendes on every single platform that exists. Mi nombre, Sasha Prendes. And from music to fragrances to health and wellness to fashion and hair products, everything, you guys, you name it. I have so much going on this year. I'm really excited. On the live, I would love to do a live review of some fragrances, specifically for men, because that's kind of where I specialize, is in masculine fragrances. I have a lot of beautiful unisex fragrances as well. Some that are absolute panty droppers. So you guys are going to want to tune into this live episode because these are amazing.
Men need that. Men need to go out smelling good, and women radiating to them because of how they smell. Also taking care of their looks, their hair, their physical appearance, etc. That's part of the whole combination where when you're going in to talk to a woman and you're trying to nail her down for a potential romantic relationship or whatever it is that you two want to make of that. So
yeah,
I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, let's definitely dive in on the live.
Let's do it. Awesome. We'll see you there. Live is coming. Likely this pre-record you'll see a few weeks after the live. So just be ready for that. But be
ready to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to the podcast, guys. And you guys can binge watch all of our episodes because they are awesome, full of great knowledge, education, and also just like hilarious truth banter. Because I feel like the shit that we talk about here, everyone is really afraid to talk about.
Yeah.
And I love that this has become a safe space for me to like share my life experience. And I think that by sharing it, we can help other people navigate this very difficult and complicated world. So we got you guys. Like and subscribe and check out the rest of the episodes from the podcast, guys. See you there.
See you there. Couldn't have said it better.